everyone, Krista Moser here. Today I thought I'd show you how to turn your scraps into these cute little pumpkins. See that? Isn't that cute? I just used odds and ends of orange strips that I had laying around, binding pieces, leftover bits, ends of cuts from other things, and I sewed them all together in simple little strip sets and then cut triangles and wedges from them and arranged them to be these pumpkins. So what I've got, a couple of strip sets here. Every one of these strips is a different width. I just used what I had. Some of them are 1.5 all the way down to even just smaller than 1 inch. So you can make use of just about anything. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut my center sections. This is what makes the pumpkins tall or short. So I've got my ruler and I'm going to do a couple sets. The first one, I will do a 2-inch section. This is for the shorter pumpkin. 2 sets like that. These strip sets are 5 1/4 inches across. So you can sew everything you've got together and then measure, and if it's right about 5 1/4 or just over, just kind of trim it down to 5 1/4 and that'll get you what you need. Okay, there's two 2-inch ones. Now I'm going to do some 3.5-inch ones, and these ones are for the taller pumpkins. So here we go. 3.5 inches. Just like that. Save those aside. Now I'm going to take and I'm actually going to trim this strip set down to 4.5 inches. So this strip set is 5 1/4. I'm just going to take a little bit off so we don't waste it, because now we'll cut the triangles from these units. All right, now we have 4.5 inch. And from here we cut triangles. So now I'm using the 60-degree diamond mini ruler. I'm just going to lay this out, and I think I'll probably only end up getting 2 triangles out of here. 4.5 inch line and a flat tip across the other end. Just like that. And come back, and then I'm just going to take those little corners off there. Now I'll turn the ruler around. Ooh, barely just getting one more out of it. That's good. No waste. Okay, each pumpkin needs 6 of those. So I actually have another strip set here. I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I think I'll do another tall pumpkin. So I'm going to start with my 3.5 inch cuts. I'll do 2 of those. And then trim this strip set down to 4.5. I think I'll kind of center it, so I'll take a little bit off each side. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. Now for some more triangle cuts. And earlier I sewed some of these together and cut a bunch of triangles, so I've got some of those sitting here. Couple more for variety. All right. Okay, set this aside, collect my triangles, gather up my ones from earlier. Now here's what we can do. I'm going to grab one of each of these, so I have a little variety. There's a midsection for a pumpkin, and each one get maybe 3 on the top and a different 3 across the bottom. There we go. All right. This makes for a nice oval pumpkin. So the way this gets assembled, I'm going to sew these 2 together, press that seam open, sew these 2, press that seam open. Notice how none of these come to meet. You don't have to worry about any of these seams coming to meet each other. That's the beauty of doing something scrappy, is you get all this variety and it kind of gives you an eclectic look. Then we're going to sew these 2 together, press that seam open, sew this unit, which is a half hexagon, onto the center unit. Same thing with the bottom. This seam, press it open, then put that one on, and press it open. And then we have just the pumpkin unit. Now what we need is fill in background. So let me show you how that cut works. Set these aside. All right, I have some rectangles that are 3.5 by 4.5. I've got 2 of them here, placed right side together. And I'm just going to take the ruler. Now what I'm doing is the lines down the middle, there are 3 lines, 1 solid and 1 dashed on either side. So I'm going to go with the left dashed line and then the 4.5-inch line across the bottom. So that one runs up the side of the block, this one runs along the bottom, and then I just cut, just like that. What this gives me is 2 mirror image units like this. So those will cradle the pumpkin on all 4 sides. So we'll set those aside. Now for the stem. I've got 2 different kinds of stem. There's a traditional stem, which is just a little stump, and then I did kind of a leaf looking one. So what I have here is 2 2.5-inch squares sewn together, a green and a white. I'm going to use the ruler, 2.5-inch line across the bottom, and the center solid line right up that seam. Now the beauty of this is I can actually, this will get me kind of a triangle leaf, but if I scoot it up, then I get just a little bit wider of a base. I can go all the way up to 3.5, and that will give me a really stumpy leaf. I think with this one I'm going to come back down here. So you have a little bit of variety, even within this cut, to do kind of a different leaf shape. All right, that gets us a leaf. Now for the pieces surrounding it. Here I have just a strip. Now we have to cut it to go on either side of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Kind of finger press, crease that there. And then I'm just going to line up my 2.5-inch line here with the fold and just trim it. Voila. There we go. So this seam, press it open. So this seam, press it open. And that's how we're going to get our stem. Let's bring these pieces back so you can kind of see the pumpkin. These pieces on either side. Here and here. This block. Super cute. Just like that. So you're going to sew these, put these ones on towards the end. This is the last piece to go on across the top. And there you have a pumpkin block. This is the oval pumpkin. What I have here is a little more of a circle pumpkin. The center section is my 2 inches, whereas this one, I use the 3 inches across the middle. So this guy ends up a little bit shorter. And then we can just do a spacer strip to make them all the same size. To do a stem like this pumpkin shows, it's just rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. So 3 pieces. You can choose. If you want more of a traditional stem, you would do it just like that. Or the leaf stem. Fun, huh? All from scraps. Whatever you've got laying around, you can make use of it. What I did with this is I actually did 4 blocks like this. 2 small pumpkins, 2 taller pumpkins, and I put them together in a table runner for the festive season we are in. So here's the pumpkin table runner. You can see in some of them I did the little leaf block, in some of them I did the stem, just a little trunk stem like more traditional. Cute, huh? Simple enough. So what I thought we would do is just put this all together in a PDF. So everything I mentioned, the cuts and sizes and whatnot, you don't have to remember those. We're going to put it together in a PDF so you get all these measurements for the stems, for the side setting, and then we'll even give you the sashing if you want to do the table runner, because this one I just put together with little sashing strips to separate the pumpkins, one across the bottom, and then it's ready to go. Or you could even just turn this into a row of a quilt and do row after row and make a really fun, festive quilt. So what I just showed you was the blocks will get you the block measurements and everything to do each size of block and each size of stem, as well as the sashing, and we'll put it together as a PDF. That will be at KristaMoser.com under tutorials, where we've got other free patterns. It's under the tutorials tab. We'll also put a link to it in the description box below this video. I hope you found something inspiring here. Thanks for watching.